Is there a future for arcade games?
I think so. I think people are starving for interactions IRL.
I honestly think so. And the more I keep seeing these futurists talk about like everyone's going to have robots and no one wants to go.
It's so bleak.
Jessie, thank you so much for doing this. We got connected through MK.
Thanks.
Cool.
Happy to be here.
She's a fun person.
Love it.
So what do we got going on? We got curls.
Yes.
What are we doing with your hair? So fill me in. Like, what's your MO? Like, what are you doing? You get out of the shower. Your hair is wet. What do you normally do?
Sure. So I actually wash my hair separately from taking showers. I will like bend over and use the wand kind of separately. And I put in some, while it's like still pretty wet, I'll put in curl cream and gel.
Okay.
And then scrunch dry.
Okay.
And then
you scrunch it until it's dry?
No, I scrunch to get most of the wet out, which I don't like rub. I know it's squeeze.
Yes.
Very gently squeeze.
Yeah.
And then we'll diffuse dry.
Okay. And so
I'll let it get the curl cast with the gel.
So you use the gel and a cream.
Yeah.
And it's like a gel that's kind of cream.
It's a curl cream just for like softness, I guess. I did see on one of your other episodes that maybe I should use a leave-in conditioner. So maybe also
leave-in is great. It's like you need it.
Yeah, but we diffuse dry and then we try not to touch it as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's last time get your haircut.
Several months ago. I'm on a grow out journey.
Cool.
I cut my hair short in high school and have attempted to grow it out once every 3 years since then. This is the furthest I've gotten. And I think the breakthrough was bangs.
Why?
I think I just like them. And it made it easier to deal with all of this, first growing out that way and then, finally getting weighed down. So I'm very pleased to have finally grown enough length that it's growing down and sort of out.
Yeah.
And so we're still trying to grow.
Okay.
But
what's like the goal length?
I think we'll know it when we see it.
Okay. I subscribe to that. I tell people,
yes.
You'll know when you get there.
Yes.
Because usually you'll go, okay, this is too much.
This is too
much. But funny enough, sometimes that can also, if you wait, like let's say the world gets in your way between making an appointment, it's this new strike where you go, oh, I didn't know my hair can now do this.
Yeah. Just about like a couple of days before today, I was like, oh, actually, wait, do we want to cut it? But my bangs are hitting me in the eyes when I drive. So I definitely at least need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
I will say that despite trying to grow, I am willing to, I'm not on a timeline for growing it out. So I'm willing to reshape a bit.
Okay.
Like in this journey.
So the only thing that I'm seeing is I feel like there's a little bit of
there's some weirdness.
There's some unevenness, right?
I'm a victim of curly haircuts, curly haircut stylist.
So curly haircut styling, I think can go, I think it's a term that's used to let hairdressers tell their clients like, hey, I understand what curly hair needs are. I also think that there's several ways that people can cut curly hair.
They come at it one curl at a time and chop me like a hedge, and I'm very like off-center.
Yeah.
And so I have shied away. I have switched hairstylists pretty regularly over the last few years. I haven't found someone that has worked, and I'm like, I don't know. I end up going to Floyd's barbershop because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get a bad haircut, I might as well
just go there.
Just go pay $40.
That's not a reflection on that. There's very talented people.
I've gotten a few good haircuts at Floyd's. But yeah, I feel a little lost. I don't really know what to do. I had a short pixie cut with kind of shaved sides, for a while. I went to barbers for a while, and I was like, maybe they'll do it. But
you like your hair to have a little bit more volume on the top? You like it to be more flat?
Yeah, so
you kind of came in, it was a little bit more flat, and like more like playing around with this, I'm like noticing, I get to see.
Yeah, it gets pretty big. So a couple of things I like. I like the bangs. I would like it to be able to stay around the face more. I kind of like it when
oval shape?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I don't especially like it when it flattens out. I find myself going like this throughout the day to boost it.
Yeah.
This is maybe a little too much, but you know, somewhere in between.
They'll just make you look taller.
Yeah, maybe that would be helpful. But yeah, I'm not sure why the curls all kind of flattened and they fuse together in, I get like 5 really fat rings on either side. And then I try to separate them, but they don't stay separated. They combine together.
Okay.
So I don't know what the back looks like.
Well, I mean, it's okay. So
I think sometimes it gets flat.
it gets a little flat, right?
Yeah.
You don't see yourself from the side.
No.
But I would say that because this area is a little bit more flat, right? Your crown, right below that is your nape, right? That's where your occipital bone and all that is. This area seems to like kind of sag a little bit.
Yeah.
So like this actually looks really flat. Yeah. And then, so it's like your profile is like this and then this. Where I think you probably want to see more circular around. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing. You know,
I look at curly shag haircuts on Pinterest, and I love them. So I would love to go in that direction.
So like this side is more that shag, and this side is just more short. So like I feel like this part comes back, and like you're like maybe you're not, but it does, at least the way your curls are moving. It looks like you're missing some hair right here.
Yeah, the cut is it's not symmetrical.
So if I know that you want to do like a really like more like a circular round shag, and by circular and round, what I mean is that every angle that someone would view you would see a spherical shape. And then that the fringe area on your bangs would be not so much square, but a little bit more curved into the rest.
Yeah, it's very square in the face. I would like it to be more round.
Exactly. So if I know that that's your outcome, like that's what you would ideally like to have, then I say today should be the day of like, let's figure out a way to start getting you those elements present, not taking a lot of hair off. You have to take some hair off, and so I don't even good. But it'd be nice that you go, okay, the shape is now setting me up for like, if I could do my math correctly, you probably wouldn't be thinking about needing a haircut till probably about like end of February.
That's fine.
Outside of maybe trimming up your fringe if they get a little too long. That way it will grow into something more substantial to that objective of wanting that curlier.
I'll need that.
And your hair's nothing in it?
Just a little heat protectant. I had a curl refresh. We were a little frizzy this morning, so I wanted to freshen them up for you.
No worry about it. I mean, I'll have enough water I can spray and curl and do all that. Have you ever used a bounce curl brush?
No, I don't brush. I don't own a brush.
These things. So when the hair's wet, you take the hair and it's wet.
I've never seen this.
And like pull, and then you rake, and it splits it up. And then when you pull down, you catch it, and then you do it, and then you get the individual bits.
Yeah, I just crunch and then I shake, and I'm like, and then my hair does what it does.
It does what it does. Well, that's great. Like, I mean, if you have a brush set, if you don't need that, then I'm gonna brush your hair just a little bit.
Sure.
Some people have that curl where they don't need that extra. I mean, I need it with my hair because my hair is so many types of curls.
I think maybe because I'm sort of naturally a little bit lazy when it comes to my hair, I try to touch it as little as possible.
Yeah.
And then I find it just kind of does this, and I'm like, okay, this is good. I won't fight it.
Good.
I grew up brushing hair in Southern California.
What part?
San Diego.
That's right, restaurant.
Yeah. It's lovely.
What part of San Diego? Like San Diego proper, or like Poway?
No, Del Mar.
Okay.
And then like Encinitas.
Okay.
I went to high school in La Costa.
Yes. Yeah, this piece just hangs out.
Yeah, there's a couple weirdly long bits.
If anything, I want to make sure that your haircut is balanced.
Yeah.
So it may not feel like there's a crazy shift, but it'll be enough that as it grows out, you'll notice it's growing out in concert, not like a soloist over here.
And there's like, what's this feeling?
Let me get keep on you.
Okay.
Sorry, should be good.
spay hair.
Yeah, no, it's great. All right, let me take your hair all clipped off because this is gonna be like this is gonna take the majority of the time.
The clipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy when I say that, but like what I mean by that is like your hair doesn't require a lot of cutting. It requires very like strategic.
Strategic cutting. Yeah.
Like we're gonna cut. I need to see this and that, and then we can go from there. So while I am parting and clipping your hair out of the way, tell everybody what it is that you do, because I don't know how to exactly explain it. So that I'm going to let you do it.
I think there's something kind of lovely in when I have to describe what I do. It consists of a pretty long list of things that maybe initially feel disconnected, but to me are inherently like interconnected. Okay. So one thing that I do is I teach at UT.
Okay.
My area of expertise is kind of also a long list. But I teach in immersive media and game.
You teach what?
Immersive media.
Okay, so immersive media. Okay, I need to remember that because I'm going to need to ask what that means at some point. So let's go through this list.
Immersive media, game development, experience design, storytelling, and then also, and those all I think are kind of soft terms, but there's also some hard skills I teach, like programming and hardware and technical art and a few different softwares, animation softwares, and game engines and things like that.
Okay.
So that's one area. That's one item on the list.
Okay.
Which is itself a list.
Yeah.
But then outside of that, I am also a small business owner. I own a strongman powerlifting strength gym in North Austin, and I myself compete in strength sports.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for over a decade at this point. And then on the side, I am a kind of eternal hobbyist, and I like to play Dungeons and Dragons. I was a dungeon master for a very long time. It was one of the ways that I grew a community when I moved here to Austin.
To the Dungeons and Dragons community.
D&D. I found some friends online, and it was on the Austin RPG subreddit. I made a little post. I was like, hey, I'm new here. I'm in my 30s. I'm a girl, which is also important. I would like to play with other women in addition to men. And I found a lovely group of people, and we would meet at my house and play Dungeons and Dragons. And it was how I made some friends when I first moved here.
So what are your thoughts? Like, were they accurately describing some of the characters and moves and Stranger Things, if you saw that?
I've watched a little bit of the first season of Stranger Things. So I think that there are connections there. Okay. But Dungeons and Dragons, I think, gets a little bit of a bad rap.
What's the bad rap?
Well, it's like, oh, I'm the kid at the table and I'm rolling my dice and drinking Mountain Dew and talking about.
I will tell you that pretty much describes everybody went to middle school with.
Yeah, that's true. And while we do sit at a table and drink Mountain Dew, roll dice, but Dungeons and Dragons is just telling a story with your friends.
Okay.
And when there's moments of choice or moments of uncertainty, or where you're not sure how something might turn out, you're like, I try to do this. Mm-hmm. You roll the dice to see what happens.
Okay.
So there's that kind of chaos element. And so I was the dungeon master for the majority of our play sessions. And so
I don't know what that means. Got it.
Yeah. So
I never did any of these.
The dungeon master, basically, I came up with all of the non-playable characters. So I came up with, like, where are we? What kind of story are we telling? Is this something fun, or is this something scary, or is this something...
Are there comedies?
Yeah. Oh, it's innately pretty comedic. When you try, you're like, I try to do this amazing superhero move. I try to jump over and then hit him with my sword, and then you roll a nat 1. And then, so what does that mean? You failed. You've horribly failed. This thing you've tried.
So with Dungeons & Dragons, you basically come up with a story. Mm-hmm. And then depending on whatever the dice is, it either says you did that or did not do that.
Yeah. So imagine, and the story could be something small. It could be, we are trying to cook dinner for each other. I want to try to make a new pasta dish that I've never tried before. And then you're like, how is it going to turn out? Well, I roll the dice. Oh, if you roll a 20, that's the highest number on the dice. That's a natural 20. That's a big accomplishment. Your pasta dish is delicious.
Okay.
You have never eaten something so wonderful. The ingredients are singing in your mouth, right? Or if you roll a natural 1, horrible, awful, you curdled it. You didn't even know pasta could curdle. It's horrible. Everything is, your mushrooms were spoiled before you even put them in the dish,
I would say that those are mushrooms that give you a psychedelic trip.
Oh, yeah. Or, you get food poisoning or, something kind of horrible happens. Maybe they have to roll a constitution check to see if they throw up or get food poisoning.
What's that?
Go for a check.
Constitutional check.
So in Dungeons and Dragons, there is, you have some character traits. So there's constitution, there's strength, there's dexterity, and you have kind of
I'm almost feeling
numerical skills.
This is how we should, because currently we're in the middle of like day 38 or whatever of a government shutdown. I'm almost feeling like the Dungeons and Dragons solution is we say, I do this and I will roll the dice. Because that's how it feels at this point.
It does happen.
I actually feel like it would be really funny, though.
Yeah. I would like to see some dice rolling in Congress.
That would be great.
I feel like it would just be nat ones every time.
It would be what?
Just natural ones.
Natural ones?
Every time.
Like whoever gets the joint, all right.
Yeah. A natural one, we call it critical failure.
Oh.
This kind of feels like where we're at right now.
Definitely. So that's interesting. Okay. See, I never knew any of that.
Yeah. Each character might have a different balance of ability scores. So a person might have a higher constitution score than a higher dexterity score. So you'd be really hardy, but not very mobile. And so maybe you can weather the storm, but you can't jump very, quickly around.
Okay.
And then there's strength, and there's also things like wisdom and intelligence, which are separate scores. And all of these things can kind of intersect. How you
wisdom and intelligence are separate scores, because I would also say that I think those are also two separate, not connected abilities.
Yeah.
Some of the most wise people are the ones who messed up the most because they weren't thinking. They're like, don't do that. You're like, what are you talking about? Like that this morning, like, oh, they made all the mistakes. I'm going to listen to somebody who made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
More than the person who's never made a mistake about something that could potentially backfire.
And wisdom, intelligence in D&D is also connected to like studying and book smarts and things like that, which wisdom doesn't necessarily, I think it ties into sometimes, but not always. So I like that they're separate.
That's cool.
There's also, there's a charisma score. So how good are you with people?
But that's not you, it's your character.
Yeah, it's the character that you embody in the game of D&D is kind of determined by the balance of these scores and how they play together. And there is when you create your character, you have a pool of points that you can associate with these character attributes, and there's a limit to how many points you can use. So you have to choose carefully, so your character has strengths and weaknesses that are kind of determined by these numbers that you applied.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've always been into games.
I grew up playing video games with my sister.
Okay. What video games did you grow up playing?
Fun games like Rampage or Twisted Metal or Crash Bandicoot.
Watching the Twisted Metal TV series?
Not currently, but I watch it and I feel gleeful when I see the commercial.
I've never watched it. My friend's wife is in that series.
Oh.
Wow. She plays Quiet.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
I don't know anything about it.
I am a little bit worried about watching it because I have such fond memories of playing the original Twisted Metal game in my childhood, and I'm worried that they might have ruined it. But maybe I should keep an open mind.
Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know anything one way or the other. I just know that I'm more of a comic book person. So when I hear that they're going to make certain comic books, or when they cast somebody, why they cast that guy, that guy or that girl, awful casting. But I can understand that.
Yeah, so I grew up playing PlayStation 1 games. I had some games on the Game Boy that I liked playing, like some of the original.
I have my original Game Boy right here.
Really? Amazing. Oh, hell yeah.
This is the only video game I
like that you just had that.
Yeah, with Tetris in the back. Well, Super Mario. Super Mario.
Yeah, I had the Game Boy SP, the like folding one that I would play on. And I play, Legend of Zelda and a few games like that.
I think Legend of Zelda like an RPG. Because I feel like everyone would always talk about how rad it was. And I love the theme song, right? And they did a great job on the commercials as a kid, because I was like, oh man, I need this game. But every time I played it, I was like, it felt like you had to, I don't want to say like I didn't want to think as a kid, but it was like a lot of like,
it's a story. It's a puzzle game.
Yeah. It wasn't like, Mario Brothers, like here's your gift, go from here to here. Very
different.
I just remember I got lost on a map and I couldn't figure out the Nintendo one where the cartridge was metallic. It's like, shoot.
Yeah.
I was like, and I kept like trying to, I could never get past it, I think.
Yeah, I think that when people talk about Legend of Zelda, I think they should talk more about the puzzle design. In some of the original games that I have put the most hours into, like it's called Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. These are a little bit older ones. These are before the Link to the Past ones. And you have this wand where you travel between the past and the present, and the things that you do in the past affect things in the present, and you have to kind of move through this environment. And, oh no, there's a tree blocking your way. But if you go back to the past and you move the acorn, then the tree's not in your way. It's the
kind of where like quantum physics is saying that like the one thing I read recently, they said is that our choices now affect our past.
Oh,
it was a weird one. And I was like, okay, I gotta like dive in more on that one.
Yeah.
I just remember I saved the article. I was like, how does this one happen?
The only way that I could see that happening, and I'm not a quantum physicist, but maybe your decisions now affect your perception of what happened in the past.
That's good.
Because the way that you remember things is kind of based in your understanding of reality.
Which is why expert witnesses of visual things like your memory is not as solid as you think.
No. And you can change people's memories pretty easily.
It's called therapy.
Even just things of like how you prompt someone to remember things, and every time you remember something, if you focus on a certain detail, that then becomes the core of the memory.
Yeah.
And you can invent things very easily.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I heard that even certain smells can affect your perception of your own memories and the way that they kind of land in your brain.
Well, I mean, smells are a huge part of memory. I'll be somewhere and the smell will come in. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of like elementary school. Weird musky construction paper smell, or whatever it is. So like, I do think that that's very, but I don't know if it could influence your memories. That definitely brings back them for sure. So you grew up playing video games, and you're like, I'm going to get a whole career out of games.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So that's not at all.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Get back up.
Yeah.
You went to Comic-Con and you're like, I want to work in this industry.
No, I did not intend to go into games at all. It sort of just happened. I went to school initially with the intent to become a graphic designer.
Okay.
I really like fonts and letters, and kind of the shapes and how information is displayed.
And also the subliminal context of like certain things are considered more like. I watched this full thing about design about the masculine, feminine, subliminal. What is it? in logo design.
Mm-hmm.
Like a target is both masculine and feminine simultaneously. So they even carries over into fonts about the curvature or the lack of curvature.
Yeah.
And I thought I was like, I had never thought to put.
Yeah, shape language. Shape language is really powerful, and it's just in the way that we kind of understand the things that we look at.
Yeah.
Like sharper curves, circles, squares. These things, they kind of register in our subconscious pretty powerfully. But yeah, I went to school intending to be a graphic designer, and then almost immediately I took a class, but it was part of my major. It was a required course in 3D. I had to learn to design in 3D, and I took a 3D modeling course, which totally derailed my plan. I was like, this is very cool.
What was the model that or the application?
The software is called Maya. Okay. So it's Autodesk Maya. And I just learned to kind of build 3D objects on the computer, and found that I just gravitated towards this spatial thinking, kind of imagining three-dimensional objects in a digital space. And I was pretty good at it, and I enjoyed it. And then I found that some of the nitpickiness of graphic design, the like letter spacing, the like tiny details, I found myself frustrated that kind of interfered with my larger interest in the field, but that 3D was more playful, and you could tell stories in a different way. And this one class totally had me changing my plans, and I switched my major into animation and ended up working in that in college. And I became a technical animator, and I was building character rigs and kind of bringing characters to life on the computer. And this was a fun.
And those are all things that would help you if you wanted to go into gaming, right?
Yeah. So I originally wanted to go into animated film, like movies. I was like, I want to work at Disney. I want to work at Pixar. I want to make movies, like, because I love Toy Story.
Toy Story's great.
Like you do. And there's a running joke within my undergrad program where if you really want to go into film, you'll end up in games, and kind of vice versa, which has proven itself to be true amongst my my year. There's several people who were like, I'm going to games, and they're now working in film, and me, kind of going the opposite direction. So
do you ultimately want to work in that industry outside of just working? Your current job is working in the academic side.
Mm-hmm. So I did. I worked in AAA games for a few years, and yeah. After I graduated, I worked on Lord of the Rings Online. I worked on a game that had since was discontinued called Infinite Crisis. That was an MMO game. Massive multiplayer online game.
See, my wife, when she played video games, she was part of the guild on your board. When it was in Pops, we had to be part of the guild.
Yeah.
She put the hours in. Every now and then, I'm like, you should go back and play. She's like, no, we won't have a marriage. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Cause to me, I'm like, I can only handle so much time. And then I'm like, all right, we're done. And it's like, it's not like that.
It's not like that. No, you have to complete the quest. So I ended up working in games. I worked on my favorite, and this is kind of my little claim to fame in the game world. I worked on a game called Just Cause 3.
Okay. And
that game is kind of like if Michael Bay and Grand Theft Auto had a baby.
Uh-huh.
It's an open world exploration game.
What's open world to me?
So you can go you can go anywhere. So there's this big environment, this big world, and you're allowed to go anywhere. They don't kind of block you.
Okay.
Certain areas might be more dangerous than others, so you might not want to go there until you've leveled up, enough to have the skills or weapons or whatever to be able to survive them. But you could go there if you wanted to.
All right.
In this world, it's this big kind of tropical island, and there's animals that live there, and there's the enemy who's trying to control the people of the island, and you're going to go liberate them. And along your way, you can take over any planes, boats, cars, motorcycles, bicycles. So that's where the Grand Theft Auto comes in.
Yeah.
And then you have guns, you have unlimited C4, you have a wingsuit, you have a grappling hook, you've got the equipment to do the job. And you can blow things up, fly around, grapple hook things. And my claim to fame is in that game, the animal wildlife. I did the rigging for the animal wildlife. Rigging is the process of putting a movement system, like a skeleton system, inside a 3D model. So think about like the difference between a doll and a puppet.
Okay.
So, puppet has the strings attached and you can animate it and make it dance. That's what I do digitally.
Well, that's cool.
And so I rigged the cows and the goats of that game. And there are many videos online of people going up to the cows and grabbing them with the grappling hook and then like attaching them to the windmills and having the cows like fly around. It's pretty lovely and whimsical. And I was like, I made that possible.
That's funny. Isn't there like there's an Apple TV series about like a game thing, Ultimate Quest or something like that?
Quest. I don't have Apple TV, so
I watched it because I took advantage of that 3-month subscription, and I ended up watching it at my friend's house, and it was the funniest thing. It was like this. I imagine they're making fun of Blizzard, probably.
Yeah,
but I just didn't know if you'd seen that. It was working in that industry is kind of like that or not.
There's a lot of fun in working in the game industry. I remember one of my favorite days was the day where it was reaching the end of a work cycle, and we had Easter egg week.
Easter egg week.
Just fun surprises.
In the game?
In the game. We had just a week to build some fun and whimsy and little secrets because people really like discovering those things in games.
They're like at the end of a Marvel movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, you turn a corner, you go into a cave that you never would have really seen unless you tried to find the secret. And in there is a gun, and it's like a funny little cartoon-looking gun. And when you shoot someone with the gun, it makes their head get bigger.
Oh, that's funny.
And if you shoot them enough times, their head becomes a balloon and they float away. So there's kind of fun things like that. One of the Easter eggs that I worked on was there was a cow that was a different color than every other cow.
Like a purple cow?
It was a blue cow. And if you find the blue cow, you can ride the cow around.
Oh, that's
you can't ride any other cow. So just fun things. And that was a delightful week to work in the game industry.
So I bet I would have like the most ridiculous.
Yeah, we're like, what fun can we put here?
Oh, yeah.
And that was part of the kind of culture of that specific game franchise. Was that fun? A game that gives you unlimited C4. I think they're leaning into
fun.
Yeah, that in particular. I remember that week.
Well, how could you not?
Yeah.
So you eventually transitioned to the world of academics.
Mm-hmm. So I have known, I think, basically most of my adult life that I wanted to be a teacher. Okay. I actually started teaching at the college level almost immediately after I graduated from school. I took on a 1-credit class where I was teaching how to use software to students who were basically my own age. And then
is that awkward?
It was awkward. I was like, "Hello, students."
I've done that where at one point in my career, I had an assistant. So I was like 26 and he was like 36. Yeah. And he had kids and all. And
You're like,
I felt
assistant.
I'm like, hey man, I need you to go get that for me. It was like the weirdest thing because I had never had anybody of my age or older than me. It's always been like at least 5 or 6 years younger than me. They're all like fresh out of B school. So like, 21 and coaching like 19 to 22. You're 26, 27. You're the older person to them, right?
Okay.
So to have somebody who's like 10 years older than you and they're like all right, sir. And I stop calling me sir. I'm not my dad.
Who's the sir?
I'm like, yeah, totally get that.
Yes. So it was awkward. But I think one of the things is I've always been good at explaining how to, navigate software and accomplish things. And I'm good at kind of figuring out ways to make something happen in the way that someone wants something to happen in their project. Like, how do you get this model to look like this, or what color, or how do you want it to move, or, things like that. And so in school, I helped my peers as a TA. And I ran the animation club. And so I've always really liked just helping and teaching. And it was a pretty clear step. So once we got a few years into teaching, and I was like, okay, I feel more in charge in the classroom.
Did they maybe respect you more or listen to you more because they felt that you're more relatable to them? Or do you think it was like, what are you going to show me? We're the same age. What was that?
I think it might have, a few times I went in to teach, and after I moved to New York, I was teaching at the Hunter College, which is like a city college, and there's students of all ages there. And I would show up, in my mid-20s. I'm 24. I'm your teacher. I'm your professor, and they wouldn't know because I'm short as well. And
hence why,
Yeah, you raised me up in the chair. I appreciate it. But I'm not very tall, and I wear my sunscreen every day, so I think I look young too. And I show up, and they're like, "Oh, are you taking this class?" I'm like, "Nope,
I'm your teacher.
I'm teaching it." And I think the minute I would start kind of giving the lesson, they're like, "Oh, she knows what she's talking about." So that's helpful. And I think being younger, it created a comfortable classroom environment where I can kind of joke around with them, and it's just it's a different type of professor-student relationship.
Yeah.
But it's the one that I prefer. I don't really enjoy hyper formal environments, so being able to come in and be like, "Hey guys, I'm your teacher," was really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. But just going into teaching, so that they kind of started in parallel. And that was also the time. So I mentioned I own a gym. That's also the time where I started lifting weights. So
wow.
Working in the industry, teaching and lifting weights kind of all started after college, and I still do all of them.
Is weightlifting common in the gaming industry? Like at that level?
I wouldn't say common. I think there is a commonality to people who enjoy. So when I started lifting weights, I did powerlifting.
Yeah, which is very different.
Yeah. Powerlifting is a numbers-driven, like grinding for levels kind of sport. There's some strategy. There's some like, if I run this type of program for 3 months, I'll add 5 pounds to my squat. And
and let me make sure I'm understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Powerlifting is the lifting that we see in the Olympics.
No, that's Olympic weightlifting.
Oh, so powerlifting is like max lift, like whatever it is.
Yeah, so they're similar. So powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting are very similar sports, but the specific lifts that you do in competition are different. Both of them, you're trying to do one rep as heavy as you can successfully. In powerlifting, you are competing in the squat, the bench, and the deadlift.
Oh my God. So I'm wondering if that's what this guy does. Hang on. I was at the airport at a layover in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then I ended up talking to this guy who looked like he was a WWE wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Jerry Pritchett. 2017 America's Strongest Man.
That's a strongman.
So that's different.
That's a strongman, yes.
But look at this guy.
Oh, massively strong, yes. So strongmen are fridges on legs.
Dude, like I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
My thigh, if I can't get me, this thing right here was smaller than his neck.
Yeah.
Like it was I was like, holy, it used to walk around. You barely fit in the little chairs, whereas we're all waiting for our flight.
Yes. No. Yeah. So that's a strongman. So
That's different.
yes, there is.
But he does talk about honestly, like I'm going to do this one lift as big as I can. So that's why I put it all together.
So yeah, powerlifting is a specific sport where you're trying to do squat, bench, deadlift. You have 3 attempts. In competition, you have 3 attempts for each lift, and you're trying to get the heaviest possible weight for each individual lift.
Okay.
And then your total score is the sum total of the weight.
Is it like the average or the whole weight?
The total. So they call it the total. So your total is the heaviest lift that you did for each one. Olympic weightlifting is similar, but the lifts are the snatch and the clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And both of those, the bar's on the ground and you get it on over your head.
Yeah.
And stand up with it. So
I see a lot of the people I know in CrossFit do those.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Those are lifts that happen in CrossFit as well. Okay. So those are those 2 sports. So the people who like powerlifting, it's funny. There's a lot of like engineers and software developers and kind of those types of people who like powerlifting. And I think it's because there's a very clear relationship between if you perform this many squats, like eventually you will do a heavier squat. And it's a very like input in, output out kind of sport. If you just do the reps, you will get stronger.
That's true.
Yes.
And it's very true.
Yeah. I honestly think that philosophy has impacted my life journey. I just do the reps. Do the reps.
And sometimes you have to lower your weight to get the reps.
Yes. Sometimes you have to do. I talk about this with people at my gym who get kind of frustrated. They're like, oh, I only want to do weights at the higher end of my ability. And I'm like, you have to think about strength as a tower. And you can think about it as your like capacity is the base of the tower. And to make that base bigger, you have to do more reps. You have to build up your endurance, your ability to kind of grind, your total kind of training volume, all of those things. That's the base of your tower is larger. And the larger the base, the higher the top of the tower, which is the ultimate expression of your strength, right? That 1 rep.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that are really into weightlifting. And the thing that I've learned from them, and just my friend who's like, he's an RD, so I learned a lot about weightlifting from my buddy's a dietitian, is everyone thought that those like bodybuilder dudes, like Arnold and company, were all doing these crazy heavy weights.
Oh, they're doing volume.
They were doing volume. They were doing like 15 pound, 20 pound currents. But when the cameras came in,
that's when you're the one heavy one. Yeah.
70 pounds. Like, I got to do that. And they said there's like this whole generation that got injured because they're trying to do the 100-pound bar and dumbbells. Like, we're doing all this shit.
No.
And it was actually like lightweight.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta do your reps. You gotta do your reps.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny too, because when I was doing powerlifting, I became very strong. I have a state record in Texas.
Really?
Yeah. I squatted 362 pounds.
It's almost 1 pound for every day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, I squatted very heavy, but I was not a very muscular person because you spend a lot of time, or like I was muscular, but not in the way where you're like, oh, she's jacked.
Not like those fit.
Not a bodybuilder. Yeah, not a bodybuilder.
Because just
very compact.
Yeah. Well, to back up to the strongman guy,
he's big.
He's not. He does not have the Marvel superhero.
No,
he doesn't have these like
he's
crazy
built like a tank.
Yes. He looks like he has. People who wear bulletproof vests have this very non-defined chest muscles, but it's just big.
Yeah, that's just his body.
That's just his rib cage.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
It was funny when I eventually I hit a point with powerlifting where I had been competing in the sport for over 10 years, and the amount of effort that I would have to put in to squat 5 more pounds was just exponential. And I was like, okay, I think I need to do something different. I need a little more fun and whimsy in my training. And I at that point I had opened my gym here, and we were running a strongman show at the gym, and they asked me to help record the example videos for the event. And I picked up a sandbag for the first time. So like 150-pound sandbag.
Oh shit.
And I were kind of carrying it around. And I was like, wait, that was actually kind of fun in a unique way. It's very different than doing a squat, one squat. And I picked up a yoke for the first time.
I have about 4 or 5 yokes every morning after practice. Different yoke.
Different kind of yoke. So a yoke
I don't even know what yoke
is. It's kind of named after farming equipment, but the strongman version of the yoke is you have this crossbar with 2 uprights, and there's a lot of weight on the uprights, and you kind of pick them up off the ground and carry.
Oh, I would do that for like squats or like deadlifts in a way. Like I would pick.
Yeah, but imagine that instead of a barbell with weights, like kind of circular weights, you're picking up the entire squat stand.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's yokes, and because you don't have to squat back, you don't have to squat with it, you just walk with it on your back. You can carry a really heavy weight. So I've picked up 600 pounds on the yoke and kind of
That's wild.
stood there with it and then put it back down pretty quickly. But and I was like, oh, these are like, there's an amount of like root strength that is required. There's also technique that you have to learn to do things safely and efficiently, but it's fun. Like you get to pick up all these different shaped things. There's one event in strongman that I love so much, which is the sandbag throw.
Okay.
Which is where you have sandbags. And for women, the bag weights go up to maybe like 30 pounds, but you try to throw them as high as you can.
It sounds like the Highland Games.
It's some of that, yeah.
You have like this huge stone and you have to like carry this.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's like I get to run around. My conditioning is way better. You're doing a lot of overhead pressing, and so my like shoulders have gotten really big. I'm like, oh wait, now I'm jacked. Now that I,
Yeah.
Oh man, we talked about that guy's a fridge. He's built like I feel like I'm a mini fridge.
Mini fridge. They just keep like your
Love it. Yeah.
little cans of Pepsi and stuff.
Yeah. And it's just, it's lovely. You get to do, and I like the variety of training. There's sort of fun involved. You still have to do your reps, but there's more fun, which I really love.
Have you gotten MK to come out to do powerlifting with you?
No, I should invite her. People at UT, they do know that I train weights, and they just want me to carry all of the equipment for event setup.
Because in their mind, they're helping you out.
Yeah.
Like look, we're taking her away from her gym. She should be able to carry this projector.
Yeah, I do a lot of carrying around of arcade cabinets.
Arcade cabinets.
Yes, that's one of the classes I teach at UT.
So tell me about this, because like I love arcades, and when I don't like, I'll tell you what I don't like. And then it's not just me being negative. I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like that anytime you go to any arcade now, the games are like $4 or $5, like anything fun. And like arcades were all about like using cheap amount of money and playing. And it used to be a place to gather, but like home games kind of like destroyed that communal sense, And I feel like my generation, I'm 43, like I feel like we were, not all of us in our 40s, but I'd probably say if you're like your age, probably you're mid-30s, you got probably got the talent of going to any arcade if there was any. Like I felt like I was the last part of the last generation in the 90s.
Yeah, I had a
Mortal Kombat was in the fucking arcade. If you wanted to play Mortal Kombat, you had to go to the arcade.
Yeah. With your quarters.
Yeah, but it was released on every system. You're like, oh, that's only a Sega Genesis game, or that's only Nintendo. And those are the only options he had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the thing that arcade brings us now is because when you play games on consoles, you're interacting with it with a game controller. This sort of generic controller that you play every game with.
Yeah.
Right? And I think maybe the exception is Guitar Hero, right? The special controller.
Yeah.
But the arcade brings you unique interaction. And, there's maybe the typical kind of joystick button Mortal Kombat setup, but more modern arcade games are bringing really unique kind of interfaces into gaming. And that's what my class is about. we consider why games in the arcade genre are different than other games. Like what makes an arcade game an arcade game? Like why is this at an arcade and what does that mean? Because it's things like in Mortal Kombat, when you go in, you can start playing Mortal Kombat pretty quickly. The rounds are pretty fast. They incentivize you to keep playing. You know, you have 3 lives, you put in a quarter, you can have 3 more lives and play some more, right? There are these kind of limited gaming experiences that you can grok pretty quickly.
You say grok?
Yeah.
Is that I thought that was just a thing on X.
Oh, yeah, it is on X.
Is it a game thing?
Grok means to understand, to grasp.
Okay. Yeah. See, I did not know that. My first experience with that word
was through X. Yeah. Oh man, I think you're probably not the only one. Unfortunately. But Grok AI means like understanding AI. I think people are asking Grok questions to understand things. So it's ChatGPT, OpenAI, they just limited medical advice. That's probably for the best.
And wow. Oh, but there's people who found, like, they said, hey, here's my blood panels, or here's my stuff. What does it say? And ChatGPT said you should run these other tests. Oh no. And the ChatGPT like helped them actually like find what was going on over the doctor. And so they're saying like there's
a positive.
They said that this could be interfering with the actual authorities of like, oh, this is the way medical has to be. Like you're circumventing the system. They didn't like it. Yeah. So that was
I think there's maybe a little fear though with if it hallucinates an answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, so many things you can say. Like, oh, the war of this and that. There's no war. Like AI is lying to you. What? Okay, so real quick, I want to check in. How's the French? It's gonna shrink up.
Yes. Yeah. Originally my bangs were here, and they're sort of.
Yeah, I just took them down just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So that way, the center part is going to be shorter. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the shortest, and then it's just to move into here. So I didn't want to take too much of that. And I also noticed that they're hanging really flat. Mm-hmm. So I also just slipped it a little bit. Yeah. So that also, it takes some of the quote length, but it also just makes it lighter. Yeah. And then as you can see, we got some symmetry going on. I was really matching this side really to what this side would do because I can't grow the hair on this side. Yes. I don't have that ability yet. But I could take this stuff and just make it just a little bit more shorter to bed.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling way more symmetrical.
That was my goal.
Thank you. And those weird little long bits are
gone. Yeah, they're gone.
Much better.
Yeah, I'm going to spray down and start like getting you dry, okay?
Lovely. Okay.
So you do arcade design.
IRL.
I honestly think so. Mm-hmm. And the more I keep seeing these futurists talk about like everyone's going to have robots and
it's so
wants to go.
It's so bleak.
I'm like, I saw Ready Player One. And I thought it was the worst idea.
So sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are starving for communal connection. And one of the things that you do is to play this game. I mean, I think people are starving for communal connection. And one of the things that you do is to play this game, you have to be there. And, I think that's really powerful. You have to actually go in there and touch it and play it.
Well, it also used to be those LAN games, right?
So LAN parties are so fun. Bring your whole ass computer.
Which was insane. There was this one comic book store that also did LAN games out in Oceanside.
Yeah.
It's right by the pier. And they were open all hours of the day. And it was like, okay, like my friends would,
that was a golden era.
Yeah, and like we're just going to go buy comic books.
We don't know what we've lost.
There's this photo, and it shows like a bunch of kids playing Nintendo, the one where it has like the little rumble pack handle, and it goes, this, your friends, Friday night games, Domino's Pizza, 1997. We didn't know we had it.
We didn't know we had it.
And I'm like, I agree. That
was like,
is there like a way of walking any of this stuff back at all? Like like, is there a point where maybe some people just go, you know what, this was great, it was fun, but like we're going to go back to this other thing because we have more purpose, or like, do you find that games are going back to that? Because I was sitting next to this guy playing, and he was saying he makes games, new games for retro stuff, like my Game Boy. And he was saying that it's like a fun market. It's an emerging market in the gaming world.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people are recognizing that they're being sold to a lot, and you're like, I just want to go back and play the game. Like, I just want to play with my friends. Can I just play with my friends, please? You know? And I want to have friends again in my life. So I think that is like, how do we do that?
Yeah.
Our technology has enabled connection across distance, which is really amazing and has allowed people to find community. But then I find that is also pretty limiting, where then you're kind of trapped in front of the computer. And then when you go out into the world, you're like, wait, am I alone? Are my people off the computer? You know, do I have to stay in this digital space to have joy? Yeah. And so how can we rebuild our kind of physical communities, our connection to others near to us? Mm-hmm. I think that is really kind of powerful. And I see that with our students as well. They were really nervous about,
sorry, grab the English.
Pull it back in. We have this end of semester showcase, and the students were so nervous about participating when we kind of rebooted it.
Why?
I think that they were scared to look dumb in front of each other. They didn't think their work was good enough. They didn't want to put themselves out there, you know, that kind of combo of things. And this was just a couple years ago. But then we had a class, and MK actually teaches this class. And the initiative was, hey, for students that take this class, students are required to take this class as part of the major. And as part of this class, you are required to participate in the showcase, because we figured that if we were only going by volunteer, we were never going to get anyone, because they're very kind of stuck in their ways right now, stuck in their fear. Oh. And so we just required it. We were like, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And we had this amazing showcase, and there were games, and there was music and performance and projection. And at this show, we had a drone show that the students worked on, and we got them out in person, showing their work, talking to each other, playing games together. And it was one of the best events I've ever been to. And the students were so happy and so proud of themselves and so excited for the next year. And the community of the department grew stronger. And it was like, hey guys, yeah, we're off the computer. We exist with each other in this world, and we're doing all this cool stuff together. Yeah. And some of them arcade games were there, and people were playing them together, you know, and just laughing and, you know, high-fiving and then the next year came around, and now students are volunteering to participate. Yeah. And I think that you just have something in the world, and you get people to play it and join each other and do something together. And it's really amazing. And then I think you realize the power of it, and you don't realize what you've kind of lost.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that the more that we can build these experiences, we can reinvigorate that desire to kind of come together.
Yeah.
And rebuild that sense of community. I think Arcane is a little piece of that, you know. Yeah. Let's play games together.
Does the school have its own arcade game? It's like an arcade.
We're working on it.
Oh, really?
So
I was like, how? I mean,
yeah.
I just remember, like, you know, you'd go to like any pizza place.
Mm-hmm. And, they would just have one.
And you would just have arcades. And it was always the same games, because they knew that they generated money.
Tetris.
It was Tetris, Pac-Man, and then in like my
Big Buck Hunter.
What was the other one? Then Street Fighter.
Oh, Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was like always there.
In college, I would frequent the neighborhood bar that had Big Buck Hunter, which I enjoyed very much.
I don't think I'd be good at duck hunting from my experience as a child with duck hunt.
No, yeah. I don't think I'll ever shoot a buck. I'm really bad at the game, but I enjoyed it.
I just don't want that dog laughing at me.
Yeah, so my class, so I've been teaching this class for 5 years.
Okay.
It's every fall. And the first time I ran the class, we made our own cabinets. And we've had those cabinets kind of out and we bring them out at events.
Cabinets, like arcade cabinets. Not like an IKEA cabinet.
No, an arcade cabinet. And then we started doing different types of arcade games, focusing more on building unique controllers.
Okay.
And so, like, for example, one game that we built was called Cows versus Aliens. And you played as two aliens come to Earth to abduct cows.
Fuck yeah.
Because you just think they're so cute. You're like in love with cows. And the way that you would play the game is through using two chair controllers, and it's a cooperative game where one chair kind of twists from side to side, and that controls the horizontal movement of the spaceship, and the other chair tilts from front to back, and that controls the kind of vertical position. So you would have to like work together and press buttons at the same time.
Two people have to work together. So the two aliens have to be a team.
Yes, to get cows. And that game was delightful, but it is very hard to install to play.
Oh, I bet.
You can't just really leave it out.
Probably breaks often too.
It does. Yeah. And so we've done games like that for several semesters. And now this semester, I'm doing a projection maps game. We're doing a couple games in our immersive media lab where there's like motion tracking and stuff associated with the gameplay. And these games are wonderful, but you can't really leave them installed.
Yeah.
So next fall, I actually acquired 4 arcade cabinets from the Museum of Human Achievement here in Austin. They donated them. And so we are going to refurbish and kind of give new life to these arcade cabinets and then leave them out installed. So we'll have our own arcade.
That's cool. I always wanted a game called Zombie. Oh. And that you're a zombie. Yeah. And you just go around and you eat everything.
That sounds like a great game, honestly.
It was literally, it's like a game where you go like, I just want to veg out.
Just chomp.
Yeah, and and the only way you can get killed is like in all zombie movies, to the head.
Yeah.
So every now and then you get to avoid a sniper.
The zombie victors. Yeah.
That's it. That was it. And I wanted it to be like old school, like 80s floppy disk, like these are Larry graphics, like so bad. And my friend's like, no, I'm never buy that. And then years later, there's a game that I bought that I thought was funny from my iPhone called Plants vs. Zombies. And I loved it. I was like, these are the graphics I was talking about, guys.
I think that speaks to the power of simple gameplay. You know, there's a lot of like AAA games now. The AAA industry is actually...
What's the AAA mean?
The big
insurance.
The big games like Halo.
Oh, okay.
You know, like big game studios. Games that cost $65 to play now. Those ones. So they are, I think, struggling because they've sort of worked themselves into a corner where now they have to make these bigger games, and they take 3 to 5 years to build, and they cost millions and billions of dollars, and and then you have to charge $65 for people to buy them, and it's on these expensive consoles, and the price has gone up. You know,
just look up for me. I'm just going to squeeze some of this.
Okay. And meanwhile, these kind of cozy games like Plants vs. Zombies, or even like arcade games, there's a simplicity there. And I feel like I've mentioned this word a few times, but there's like a little whimsy, you know? It's a contained experience, and they're so fun. And the indie game industry, that the people who make these smaller games, that industry is, I think, booming right now. There's a lot of innovation, a lot of really unique creativity there.
Yeah. That's what that guy on the plane was saying, is that these indie games are just really killing because they don't take a huge team.
No.
And because the idea wouldn't be something that one of these large gaming companies would be.
Ideas.
They're like, but the premise like is so much more like, oh, this is so fresh. All right, look for it.
Yeah, they're really innovative.
And I was like, man, like that sounds fun. Like, now that like after talking to him, it made me go like, maybe gaming isn't what I remember it to be. Because I remember when GoldenEye came out. That made me sick to my stomach. Like the first player game thing.
Oh.
Yeah. And what I learned from that is that I don't do well. And once all those games became first-person shooters, I was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm out. Like, give me Pac-Man, give me Tetris, give me Donkey Kong, give me anything where I'm not like it. And then that's where I was like, dude, have you tried the Oculus Classic?
Oh, no.
I'm like, no.
I get so sick in VR. I can't.
Yeah. I remember for that moment when like Nintendo was trying to do virtual reality, the goggles and everything was like red lights.
Yeah.
It was like an inverted part of Tron. Remember that? You put these goggles on, and it was like these weird, everything was red lights, and they're trying to make it like 3D VR.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
No, there's some studies about how women, the sense of balance and like the inner ear for women is different than that of men. And so women get sick in VR more than men do. It's like a technology built by men, and they didn't account for the different kind of balance.
I wonder if that transfers over to.
I think it's not like 100%, but maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I know more women who get seasick than guys.
Yeah.
I got some clients who went up, they're like, "Oh, we're on this boat," and it's fun, and they're like, "My wife was sick the whole time."
Yeah. I get severely seasick when I play in VR.
Yeah.
I haven't been on a boat in a while, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it got. See, I get on a boat, fine. I've been in crazy open water seas, and I'm good. But there was something about like I call it like digital vertigo. I don't know which way is up.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like I have a panic attack.
Yeah.
But I'm not even in a VR machine. I'm just sitting on the couch trying to figure out where I am. And
I get lost. One of my favorite games. So I agree with the caveat that one of my favorite games of all time is Doom, which is a first person. But I think that there's a simplicity to the game of Doom where all you do is you just blow up demons, and I'm like, yes.
Doom was and then there's Doom was fun.
I think for serious gamers, if they watched me play Doom, they'd be really frustrated because I do get lost half the time in the game. I'm like, which one am I facing? Where am I? And then I'm like, boom, with the shotgun, and I'm having a good time. But yeah, I agree. I get kind of visually lost playing first person games pretty frequently.
Yeah, my wife and I have talked about buying those game consoles that have like the 2000 Nintendo NES games. One, we enjoy all of them. And two, then it'd be something for our kids to do.
Yeah.
It's not so over the top, like hyper dopamine rush.
Yeah. The simpler age of gaming. Yeah.
Like they even prefer 90s TV shows
They're just kind of simpler. Yeah.
Yeah. Very similar, like just simple stuff.
This is looking great.
You happy?
Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, it was not about giving you the haircut that you wanted because you don't have all the hair for to do it. However, it's about setting you up to go.
I love it. We'll see it in February.
Yeah. It'll be that. I'll say your fringe will be long.
Yeah.
If this is a game, it was like an RPG. I was like the dude at the Shire who said, "Hey, here's the new map.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to backtrack about one level, but then you're gonna make a hard here left, and then you'll be ready to go."
This is the grinding for levels.
Grinding for levels. Yeah, pretty much. That is growing out your hair.
Yeah. I made it past. I think like level 1 is where your curls just grow straight sideways for like 4 months, and you're like, cool.
I mean, you see straight sideways. I always think of Forrest Gump. Just all the rain. Yeah. It's sideways rain. I have no rain that came straight from above us. Yeah, it's true. So, you're at UT and you're doing that for the time being. And is this like your ultimate like for gaming, or do you feel like after this you want to do your own independent gaming studio or anything? Because clearly you have all the tools to be a one-person show. Yeah,
I actually just published a game with one of a faculty in the design department.
Okay.
Reaching back to my love of typography. So this other faculty, her name's Kelsey Gray. She teaches in the design department, and her area of expertise is typography, and she dabbles in games. So like we complement each other in our interests, and we published a indie game, a mobile game called Drop Cats.
Okay.
That is it's a word game, and it is inspired by medieval manuscripts.
Okay.
And you know how when you look at a manuscript, you'll see those really big letters.
Yeah.
The big capitals and then the smaller ones.
Sometimes they have art around that too.
Mm-hmm. And so our game is you have to spell words.
Yeah. Correctly?
Yeah. Ideally. And it's kind of a combination of Tetris and Scrabble inspired by medieval manuscripts. And so the tiles move down the board in a similar way to Tetris, where they kind of push down from the top. And you're spelling words kind of snaking around the board, kind of like Scrabble. So I was like, why not just also be a game developer?
Yeah.
And so I did.
And you can get that on Android and Apple?
Yeah.
Right.
Android and Apple.
What's it called?
Drop Cats.
Drop Cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like drop capitals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite fun. It's a very polarizing game.
Why?
Because I think in the way that you have to visualize words on this grid, so the words that you choose, each level has a theme, and you have to try to spell words that relate to the theme. And so in addition to like finding words on this grid, you have to come up with the words to spell. Yeah. So there's a strategy for how can I position tiles so that by the time this tile gets down here, I'll be able to spell this word over here, you know. So there's a strategy, there's a creative element of coming up with words that fit the theme of the level. And I think some people's brains work in this way where they're recognizing the patterns and kind of seeing the words, and they're able to work within the system we designed. And then some people just, no, they don't like it. They can't find words. They don't recognize these patterns that kind of emerge. And that was a humbling experience as a designer. We'd be trying to play test, and some people would get it without any instruction. And then some people, they'd be playing for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and they couldn't find a single word. And you're like, wait, dude, what can I do to make this better for you? And then at a certain point, we kind of just recognize that our game isn't for everybody, which is fine.
But isn't it like all games?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's just like...
I think you want it to be.
Yeah.
But then that was, I think, a life lesson as well. You know, everything doesn't have to be for everybody.
Yeah, you can't be everything for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, some people really love it and some people don't, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think that life lesson of realizing that everything you do isn't for everyone is one of the easiest concepts to understand, but the hardest one to personally accept.
Yeah, if someone doesn't like something that you do, it's very offensive. Yeah,
and they're like, you're like, what the fuck? How do you not like? You would better for this? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, or people, when they see something that's not for them, they demand that it should be for them. And you're like, it's okay that this is not for you.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You have that thing.
I remember a friend saying, he goes, I'm not for everyone. As hairdresser. He goes, look, like, that's why we have like hundreds of different types of beer. We have hundreds of ways for you to get drunk.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to like one more than the other.
Yeah.
And I'm not for, he goes, maybe I'm too expensive. Maybe I'm an import beer. And you want like, Miller Lite. And I thought it was like a really simple but very visual understanding, because then you walk down that aisle.
Yeah. I walk right past all the IPAs.
Not for you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it was a real sticking point for us in the development process when we would try to test with people who didn't kind of connect with the mechanic of the game.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's wrong with our game? And we're like, okay, wait, no, it's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for everybody. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And you can try to make the tutorial as clear as possible, but then it's not going to connect with everyone. So that's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I think like that's actually like a fun thing, because it's a thinking. Like my favorite game is playing solitaire.
Oh, yeah.
And there's different kinds of solitaire games.
And sometimes you have to sit and kind of look at it.
I don't know. It's my favorite thing to do while playing. I am always on solitaire.
I like Sudoku.
That's the numbers one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into that one. I had a client, she loved it. She tried to explain it to me, and it's like, you're talking to a guy who hated doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was
Not
like,
for you.
this is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one of the elements of the game design that we included was the game only responds after you take a loop. So you do one thing, the game does one thing. And right? And so you can sit there and stare at it for as long as you want.
Not gonna change.
And it's not going to change.
Like solitaire.
Yeah. It's
like
lovely.
chess.
It's kind of a meditative, yeah.
Do you like chess?
A little bit. There's a app that I enjoy a lot called Really Bad Chess.
Okay.
And the idea is that it's all the chess pieces, and they work in the way that chess pieces work in traditional chess. But the layout of the pieces is different every time, and it's kind of random. You still get one king, but you get sort of random placement every other. And I actually kind of love that, because then the strategy, it's less about strategy, more about the chaos of just running around on the board.
Yeah. I that's actually one of the things that this year my wife and I said that we were trying to learn how to play, and we haven't done that.
There's the depth to traditional chess that is quite challenging. You have to learn a lot about opening moves and all the, like the strategy of war in chess. And
I feel because my wife loved the whole strategy. She loves strategy and stuff. That she's just going to say, but there's
that's why I like Really Bad Chess.
That's good. Yeah. I also think that it's also, somebody told me this. They said chess is a game of life because you have a plan. This is your plan. And then somebody ruins your plan.
Almost immediately.
So you have to learn how to pivot and not get frustrated, not get stopped at it's not going the way it was supposed to. It's going, okay, I've accepted it.
You have to look at your possibilities.
Now I got to look at here's the way I get out. And that's why someone said chess is a game of life. Was it has your life ever gone in a straight direction? No. They go, that's what chess is. And that's what they liked about it. And they said the faster you can get your kids to start playing chess, the more they'll accept when something doesn't work out. And I thought that was a really interesting outlook.
I love that. Yeah, it's funny. Whenever that connects to my life, and when I look back, I'm always just kind of following, what are the possibilities here? What are interesting things we could do?
Yes.
I'm like, this? No. Okay, I'll go this way.
So your gym, is that, sorry, you said possibilities.
Yeah.
So what was it like being a business owner?
It's just kind of slow and steady.
Yeah.
Right? I feel grateful that I have a steady position at UT, so it lets me approach being a business owner in a way that's less like life and death.
Yeah.
So I can approach it with more of a long-term mindset. And owning a gym is not innately one of the more profitable things you can do in life, but that's not why I started it. I started it because when I found a strength-focused gym in New York. Yeah. It changed my life. That's where because when I was competing in powerlifting, I spent hours and hours and hours in the gym doing my program. You have pretty long workouts. And I found my people who were doing the same thing, and we would spend, long nights at the gym, just having fun and training with each other and supporting each other in our training goals and, trying to get stronger together. Yeah. And it was pretty transformational. Some of my best friends are still these people that I met from the gym. And it also just totally changed my performance because I feel like I wasn't working against my environment in the gym. You hear stories at commercial gyms of guys kind of harassing them. And so I experienced all of that. People don't understand really.
I hear about that. I never witnessed that at gyms. Dudes harassing girls. I was also going at 5:30 in the morning, and everybody who was there were a bunch of meatheads, and there was hardly any women. Yeah, but there was one woman.
There's one woman.
One woman.
Yeah,
because she would show up on like at 5 o'clock in the morning and she had a full face of makeup on.
Oh my God.
And all of us guys, we were staring, not gawking at her like, hey, we're all going like, how early do you have to get up just to do that? Like,
Yeah.
you're coming to sweat. Like, doesn't that seem, and then somebody's like, what if she's like, just got bored?
Oh God.
And then she's like let's say she was a nurse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like our initial idea is they woke up and put makeup on.
Makeup on, yeah.
What's going on? The thing, see, that's what, so I always think like, you're like, they're all staring, like they're probably trying to figure out, why do you have all makeup
Yeah.
on the party?
Yeah, there was a few moments where I would give, like, I would record videos to send to my coach, and I have a video of a guy. I'm like getting ready to do squats. He's on the opposite side of the gym, kind of doing an arm warm up thing.
Yeah.
He sees me getting ready to squat. I'm like under the barbell. He comes over and is like trying to stop me, like, but like half of the barbell, not in a way that would be useful at all.
God.
And I'm like, I look up and I see him in the mirror behind me. I'm like, no, go away.
What a
like,
douchebag.
yeah. And it's like, dude, just, you know, and you don't trust any, like, if you want a spot on the bench, like, they'll kind of take the bar away from you rather than let you, like, try to bench, you know. So it's just, people just don't really understand, and they try to, you know.
That sucked.
And so when I went to this other gym, and there was people who understood the sport, understood the needs of training, and my strength like skyrocketed because I was all of a sudden in a really supportive environment.
That's huge.
And, you know, and I made these lifelong friends, and that was so life-changing that I was like, oh, I would love to open a place like that here in Austin and, you know, build a community for like that here. And so that's kind of the goal. I just want to build a place where people can feel comfortable and train hard. And
It's like a co-ed gym or a women's only gym?
it's a co-ed gym.
Okay.
We have a lovely community. Everyone is so nice. We have people training at different levels. Like, we have world level athletes who train at the gym, and then we have like the person who lives around the corner.
Does your husband powerlift?
He's not. I have gotten him into sandbags. He also likes running around carrying sandbags. Sandbag training is some of the most functional training you can do.
Well, that's kind of like rocking. You're just
Yeah. I had a buddy whose wife got pregnant, and he was trying to kind of prepare, you know, for having kids. And I was like, you should train with sandbags. Here's this 100-pound bag.
Yep.
Pick it up, run around with it, carry it around, like throw it over your shoulder, like do all the things with the sandbag. And it was funny. He kind of laughed at me. But then later, after his kid was born, she was like, you were so right. I was like, so he was into sandbags.
That's funny. My advice for people is imagine the worst week of always not getting consistent sleep. Imagine like that's 3 years.
Yeah.
And what? And I'm like, yeah, but you can still have to function. You can't call that sick. Or like, and just so you know, like having the hangover, like children don't give a fuck if you come over. They still want lunch. They still want to play. They still want to do all these things. So like I maybe my friends were a little bit more wild at one point, so they've all calmed down. If I should calm down considerably. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was able to kind of set that intention of building a gym that is good for people of kind of all training levels. And the main goal is to build a positive place where people can feel comfortable. It's called Home Barbell Club. You know, it feels like home.
Well, it sounds like you're building what they call a third space.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
And how our community, there was a really cool thing about that Simon Sinek was talking about. Are you familiar with Simon Sinek?
No, I know the concept of third spaces, and I totally agree.
So
like
Simon Sinek
that's the goal.
Was talking about how, he wasn't talking about third space, but he was talking about young people in the workforce. And I think he was kind of like, it's like their demands are just really ridiculous. He's like, people expect their work to provide everything. He goes, you used to have a bowling club. You used to have, he's like, you know, you used to have church. You used to have like, backgammon. Like guys would have poker nights. Like, people used to do these things outside of their home. Not like work was a place you went, you did your job, you got your money, and that was it. You did not care about the social impacts that your work was doing. You just went there and you got your job, hang out with like one or two coworkers, maybe. You would never hang out with your superior because that was weird because you couldn't complain about work because it's your boss. And it was just really funny because he's talking about this dynamic. He goes, we've completely moved away from that. And we've had more people that are more unhappy at work when work is now providing every single thing. It's provided them, community is provided them with friends. Because and then they can't escape work.
Yeah.
And then you don't know where that barrier is of like,
yeah, your work shouldn't be everything. You have to have that third space.
And my tinfoil hat conspiracy is that homework is the beginning.
Your indoctrination.
Of your indoctrination of not knowing when to not take work home.
Yeah.
When you're done with school, school should be done.
I agree. Yeah.
At least up until a certain age, and then you can start talking about projects, but like it shouldn't be like mandatory work just to keep kids busy.
It took me a while to embrace days without work. When I was living in New York City, I had multiple jobs. I was freelancing, I was doing work. And so whenever I had a day where I was like, I need a break, I don't want to work today, I felt guilty.
Yeah.
And then but now I've reached a point where Sundays, we don't work on Sundays. The gym is not staffed on Sundays. I don't do work. None of that. And that is my day, and I get to rest and do my hobbies and live my life and bake bread and, sleep in and get a little sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it has been wonderful. And I like very deliberately don't open my computer.
Yeah. I kind of make my own schedule as I go. So like I set those days like, oh no, this is someone's like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, I could. But I also promised that day to my boys, we're going to do something that's a family. And it's like, I don't want to, I'm not counting on them.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have a cell phone, they had a landline, I would have been I would have not been home to pick it up.
You can't access.
So I'm trying to kind of think of that, like who's calling me?
Yeah.
If I had a landline.
I love the idea of shutting off access outside certain stretches of time.
Okay, run your hands through your hair. Let me know how this goes.
Okay. So here's what.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah. This is nice.
So
these the weird bits that were here.
Gone. Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah. So
this is much better around the face.
Yeah. And I'm just pushing this stuff a little bit more forward just because your hair right here is you didn't have some pieces here. So until that grows, I was trying to tug this more forward. Tug these pieces forward. And then you can lift everything up above that.
Okay.
Then maybe kind of do this. And then these guys would just fall in place. And then again, I just made this a little shorter, so a little bit more rad.
Yeah.
So you can see you're going to have some space up there.
Yeah. And so when I so what I normally do is
I'll upside down.
Go this way and I'll kind of pull my bangs forward like that. And then I kind of shake this and then it does whatever it does. Is that...
You'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be totally fine.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a pretty easy treat. Just keep doing what you're doing.
I'm so grateful for you just evening it out.
Well, that was really the most impact I could have. I think it was give you this crazy wild haircut, but I'm like, well, what you want is not this crazy wild haircut. You want a haircut that's a shag and has this roundness, oval, and it's like
you're setting me up for a few months.
Like I said, let's just take what's not serving you to get. Let's remove that and let's get you on a path where, like I said, by 3 or 4 months, you're going to be in a very different space. I don't know how long your hair grows, but if you imagine that every head of hair on average is about a ½ inch a month, about 2-3 inches.
4 inches.
Yeah. So some grow faster, some grow slower, but.
Well, the 2-3 inches of curly hair is about.
You always see it. How about this? When somebody likes their haircut, it feels like it grows faster.
Yeah.
You're like, the bangs are perfect. Week later, right? Yeah, it's like without fail. Somebody goes, I hate this haircut. It's taking forever to grow out. It's like the universe knows you love it. They're like, oh, well, then you get to enjoy it for the last amount of time. So
yeah, I think curly hair with kind of shorter curly hair with layers like this, it feels like it's different every time I look at it almost.
Yeah.
From day to day, it changes. So it's always a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
Then I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's long now. I'm like,
no, I know what you mean. There's these little pieces here in the back, where you're it kind of pushes down into here. So you can start seeing your hair wants to get on this little tail at the back. So Like as it was driving, I was like, oh, I gotta take these pieces. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for sharing what you did. I just thought it was crazy that you do all this gaming stuff. There's a whole gaming department at UT.
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up going like, no one's ever going to pay you to play video games. That was always the thing. That gaming was a burnout job. Like you want to play games for life? You're working in a movie store. You're literally the two characters from Clerks. You're just, there was not really this like profitable endeavor. And
No,
now,
it's a whole
and now it's turned into
whole industry.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Whole thing. I had a buddy who went to animation for video games. He went to Cogswell up in like Northern California, I think it was, to do all this stuff. I don't think he ended up doing anything with it. But that was the first time I heard like, wait, there's a whole college for computer animation. He's like, yep. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. And that industry, it translates across now. I mean, it's not just gaming. You can learn those skills and then work in almost any industry. I think big companies are trying to make their brands into experiences now. And so the visuals of that are really important.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people are like, oh, but games, that's an unserious career. And you're like, well, you could work in aviation if you wanted, with the skill set, or you can do all kinds of stuff. There's these departments in companies. We have connections to like Southwest Airlines and HEB, and both of these companies need these skill sets as well. It's not just in gaming. So you can make games with it, but it can also be more wide ranging. And I think that's kind of amazing. You wouldn't have known that.
I would never known that.
Yeah.
I mean, what MK does with what she does, I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
And it's just, she tells me all these things to do, and I'm like, it's all experience stuff.
Yeah. It's all experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope my kids get to experience some more cabinet camps this year.
Yes.
Kid camps.
They should come to our showcase where our students show things in person now.
That'd be cool. And if there's a way to break that machine, my kids will stress test the shit out of it. They are great at figuring out ways to not use something the right way. Constantly, like, it broke. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's what's not supposed to do. Well, I didn't know. That's always the thing. But they're 6 and 8, so they're in this like, let's explore everything. So awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know you're tight on time, so I think we're out of it. I think we gotta go. Later.